5 things I did to become a better speaker. Nobody wants with great public speaking skills, but we can gain it. Public speaking is the fear of 27% population and usually be called a glossophobia phenomena. But when we can get over this fear, a variety of opportunity will be opened. Personally, I am not an extrovert person who wants to connect and talk in front of many people. However, after 27 years, life teaches me so many valuable lessons, and one of them is being an extrovert person is something that I must be. At least for people who want work in the education and business field as I am doing now. Let's think if you are a lecturer who wants to share your insight with thousands of students but you are afraid to public speaking, or if you have a great business plan and product that is ready for the funding round to raise $1 million but you are so afraid to stand on the stage to share your vision and strategy with the investors. A good public speaking skill will help you a lot, give you a chance to get closer to your goals in this field, being a great lecturer or giving a great speech in your funding round. The following list is 5 things that I did and keeps practicing for years to improve my public speaking skills, and I believe that in some ways it also can support you too when you can apply them to your life for a better speaking skills. First, raise your hand whenever you have a chance, in your class, in your office, or even in your networking event. Anytime you have a chance, let practice showing your own opinion with others. This is what I did a lot in my student life and until now. In the networking event, I have a chance to join in. The reason for this practice is it helps you to improve your confidence to share your own thought. It doesn't matter how great your thoughts are until you can share them properly with others and make them also feel wow about what you have in your mind. I love to practice my speaking skill by raising my hand because it helps me to learn and practice how to structure my ideas and questions better through times I stand up and share my views in the classes or events. Let me think about yourself. Have you ever experienced the feeling that you have a great idea or you already have the answer to the question that the MC asked in your mind, but you are also shy and decide to observe other answer the question instead of you? How do you feel at the moment? Does it really happy and exciting that when you stand up and share the thought that make all the room feel wow and give you big applause? The right answer inside you. Second, practice alone, a small group, your blog stage. It means that let yourself practice alone in front of the mirror, the walls many times to share your ideas properly. Then practice to share your views in your small group. It can be your class group, confidence, a small team, or even your family member at the dinner table before standing on the stage to share with 100 or even 1,000 people. So why I should do that? This is the question that appeared in your mind many times before and maybe in your mind now when you read this article. This is compound effect. Confidence and great public speaking skill can't gain just by thinking or come overnight. These all take time to improve and practice. That the best way to help you reduce the number of mistakes that you can face when standing on the stage to share an important speech is by daily practice. So practice from self-talking in front of the mirror to share your point of view in a small group are valuable ways to help you improve the skill. Third, don't read, let's share. Let remind yourself, have you ever seen someone yourself who stand on the stage with a piece of paper and read aloud the paper to the audience? And should we call it public speaking skill? My answer is no. Instead, it's just means you have a strong voice who can speak loudly. Public speaking skill is something else that is very different. The famous people who are super good at speaking skills can be named as Martin Luther King and Tony Robbins, Winston Churchill, who are usually engaged with audience while share their own views on their speeches without using the paper to read. And what makes them really different is they use their speeches to reach the other emotion and insight rather than just reach their ears by the voice. For your micro is your friend, not your enemy. And if you really want to be a good speaker, you need to feel comfortable and familiar with talking through the microphone. This is a big lesson that took me more than 3 years to figure out and can control. Before that moment, I always think the biggest problem comes from the microphone and it changed my voice to a different version and hear terribly. Because when you use a earphone, you can hear clearly how your voice is, and in most of the cases, when I asked my friend, they all believe that their natural voice are so good and get worse when they speak through a microphone. But actually, it is not really the problem. The problem here is you feel weird with your voice, but have 10 times louder than normal. It happens all the time, especially with the people who rarely use the microphone to share their thoughts. As a lecturer at university, I met a lot of students who have really good idea and are happy to share their own points of view with the classes, but only without the microphone. The reason for the denial to use the microphone is the feeling of having the wrong answer that can be heard by all the class, or the thought about their voice on the micro is terrible. But actually, as the lecturer and a person who have experiences to speak many hours a day in front of 100 people, I recognize that microphone is a really best friend for all the public speaker, because it helps you save a lot of energy, especially on the big stage. You can easily move around the class stage that your voice is still stable and can be reached similarly between all the audience in the room. So before wanting to be a better public speaker, let's start to make friends and feel familiar with your microphone. Fifth, never talk alone. Let engage with your audience. Once upon a day, in a class of while lecturer is sharing his point of view of 10 minutes, all the classes we concentrated and feel exciting. 1 hour late, more than half of the class fall asleep, while some left the class already, while the lecturer is still talk and talk. Do you hear this story to be familiar? This is a reality that happen in many places, not only in school but also in the conference seminar, where the speaker who just talk by himself to share his PowerPoint while the audience are yawning and feel tired to listen. This is one of the biggest mistakes for any public speaker, and this doesn't matter how big your stage is. But if you are on the micro but you can't engage with others and make them fall asleep or want to leave, you lose the public speaking game. Getting involved with audience by asking them question or giving them a chance to show their own point of view on your presentation topic will help your listener feel more exciting and feel really get into your speech. The more your audience involved in the speech, the more successful your presentation is. To summarize, these are several key points I believe: to raise your hand more, to practice your confidence and speaking skills. Practice daily self-talk, to speak in small group. Master your speaking skills in a small stage for great wins on the bigger stage. Don't just read, let's share your stories. Be afraid to share and touch the emotion of listeners rather than just read your paper on the stage. Let your micro is your best friend on the stage, not something you are afraid to use. Always engage with your audience, not let them feel separate in your speech, and don't let yourself be the only one who wants to discuss the topic.